Hello everybody. So in this video, I will be discussing about the exact roadmap for becoming a Java developer in 2024. Okay, so exactly what all steps you need to follow so that you can become a good Java developer, not only in your projects, but also in your real life application, how you can apply that. Okay, so that you will be learning that whatever I'm going through, whatever skills I'm learning, I'm implementing that as well. Okay, so let's jump onto the PPT which I have prepared for you all, and let's see like how and what all things that we have to learn so that you can get a good job with good package. Okay, and I will be telling my own story as well, like how I reached where I am as of now. So how to survive in IT field, so that is very important. Okay, so before surviving, I wanted to tell you like how can you get the good IT job. That is also very important to understand, right? So first of all, before going to survival mode, you need to go into that battlefield, right? Then only you can able to survive. So what are steps you need to take to get into that battlefield? For that, I wanted to share with you my own story, like how I came into the IT field and how I am continuing it from past 7 years. Okay. So as a fresher, when I was as a fresher, I was actually preparing for GATE exam. So I have qualified for GATE exam as well. But due to some unavoidable circumstances, I got into one of the campus placement, and that company actually called me after 1.5 years. So it was like 1.5 years gap. So I was thinking like, what will I do now? Because I have left my MTech also. I was doing MTech, that also I left. And then after that, after 1.5 years, that company called me. Okay. So then I went back to that company. Okay, I thought like I will start my journey with a good MNC. Okay, it was Addison Technologies. So it is now, the name got changed to Smart Play, but yeah, so that time I was very much excited. Like I came to an MNC. It's a very great MNC. So I was enjoying that time. So it was a training period was there for 3 months. It was training period. In that training period, actually, there were no training much. So they were actually telling us to practice. Then there will be like exam will be happening where there will be coding questions coming, and then you have to pass that exam. Then only you will get projects for yourself. Okay, so in that actually what happened, there was one or two questions comes. Okay, and you have to pass that. So I have cleared that exam. Okay, so I got the output as well, everything was fine, but still due to some reason they told like there is not much project, or due to another some reasons they told like we can't take you further. So that was the heartbreak moment for me. Like it was like 3 months training period. After that I am back to zero. Now what to do now? Then after that, like no one was there to guide me at that point of time. I'm talking about when I was 7 years ago. Okay, around 2016, 2017, that time I'm telling you. So at that time there were like no person who was able to guide me. Like this path, if you take, then you will get good future ahead. You will get good life ahead. Okay, so what all steps I need to take? Nobody was there to guide me. So at that point of time, there were a few friends. Okay, where I was staying in Gurgaon. Actually, that company was there. So there actually I was staying with some of my friends. So they were doing they were going to one of the training institute. Okay, so there were a lot of training institute like ABC and J Spiders. There were a lot of training institutes. So I also seen him going to that place, and he was also learning a lot of things. From there, I got to know like yes, we should work on our skills, and then we should go and apply to other companies. Because at that point of time when I was applying, right, I was not getting good job. Okay, I was not getting any opportunities from anywhere. All companies were asking for experienced candidate, like at least you should have 3 to 4 years of experience, then only you will be allowed to sit in the interview. Okay, so I was not getting that much of opportunity. So at that point of time, what I did, I joined J Spider Institute, okay, in Bangalore. I went there and joined there. I have studied there for 9 to 10 months. And then after learning the knowledge, then they were only giving me opportunities to go and take the interviews. Okay, crack the interviews. So I went into some of the startups because I got like some gap was there, around 1.5 years gap was there. So that's why I was not getting that much opportunities. But I was confident in my skills that yes, I am good in my skills. I have learned. I have created projects from past 10 months. I was working rigorously on my skills practice. I was practicing code day in and day out. Okay, from morning till night. I was focusing on one thing only: how to become master in my skills. Okay, so I've learned Java, a lot of things. I was practicing and practicing and practicing. So, okay, then after that, actually, I got into one startup. Okay, so that startup was good in the initial stage, but the salary was very less. It was around 5 to 6 thousand I was getting at that point of time. So you can imagine, like staying in Bangalore with 5,000 salary. How will you sustain? Okay, the rent of my PG was 7,000, but the salary was 5 to 6 thousand. Just think, I have to take money from my home to continue my further expenses. So that was the phase where I went through. So I was knowing I have to start somewhere, because if I don't start now, I will not be able to continue ahead. So I thought like that is the right time. We should go ahead and take the chance. So went there. Okay, I went to that startup company. I worked there for 2 years. And then after working there for 2 years, I switched to another company, which was CGI. I hope you all know that. So in that company, I went, and then I got around 150% hike. Okay. And then after working for 2 years in CGI, I went to EY. So again, 100% hike. So they were like, it was a lot of confidence growth in myself. And then I got to know, like, yes, we should follow certain pathway. There should be someone who should have guided us, like what all things you should choose, what all exact proper strategies that we should follow, so that you can achieve that which I achieved after a long period of time. So I don't want you to delay that. uh, we should not delay your success, right? How I have delayed my success, you should not delay your success. Okay, so for that, what all steps you need to follow, that I will be showing you here. So I hope you are, maybe you have not you have not got bored with my story. Okay, so I hope you have learned something out of it. So the first topic which I'm going to tell you, like how to survive in IT field. Okay, so surviving is continuous learning. Okay, you need to keep on learning new things. Maybe you got into one startup or MNC. So survival for the fittest, that is important thing. You should keep on learning on your skill. If you keep on, continuous growth is important. Continuous growth and continuous learning is the key to survive in IT sector. Okay, it's not a government job where you will just sit and relax. You have to keep on learning and learning and implementing. You have to prove yourself, like, yes, you are someone that can be an asset for that organization. Okay, so that is the thing. Then comes why Java? Why I have chosen Java, not any other language? So for that, actually, first of all, Java is simple to understand. It's like a step-by-step process. It works upon object. Okay, there is a beautiful garbage collection process where we don't focus upon memory cleaning and all. JVM automatically handles that. So a lot of things was a problem in C when Java handles it. Okay, so JRE, JDK, JVM, the entire component, how it manages JVM architecture. When I understood that JVM architecture from inside out, then I got fascinated, like how beautifully Java people has designed this entire structure for JVM and all, how internally it is working. When I got to know, like, yes, this is the thing which I will go ahead. And when I saw my managers, they have also worked in Java like from past 8 to 10 years. Okay, they are earning in lakhs, like 40 to 50 lakhs they are earning just by learning Java. And there are big companies are there like Google, Amazon. Okay, so there also people are doing Java for past 15 to 20 years, and they are earning in crores. Okay, just by focusing on one language, Java. Okay, so we should not focus upon learning how many languages. No, that is not required. Focus on one language and master that. Focus on only one language and master that. Don't try to focus on multiple things. Don't try to be master of all, but it's not possible, right? Like jack of all trades and master of none. It's not possible. You should be master in one particular thing. So I have chosen Java. Okay. So the next thing comes history of Java. When you will learn about what was the history behind Java, what all things Java has went through, and what all releases came. Okay. Then you will gain more and more interest, like how it went through. Because if you learn somebody's past, then you will get the interest of knowing somebody what he or she is going to do in future, right? Similar ways of history of Java is very fascinating. A lot of things happen. So when you go and research, you will get to know, and you will fall in love with Java. Okay, and there are a lot of releases. So in interviews also these questions are asked, like JDK, JRE, JVM components difference, architecture, JVM architecture. Then Java versions came like Java 1.8, Java 11, Java 17, Java 22. Okay, Java 24 is also coming. So you can see like continuous Java is working on new updates and keep on growing. Okay, it is not stagnant at one place. Like Java version came in one year and then it will not come. After 5 6 years it is coming. Okay, so previously it used to happen during Java 6 7 versions. It took actually a little longer time. to get to a newer version, because that time a lot of development was going on. But as of now, there are a lot of people who is working at the Java side. So people are just coming up with new versions every 1 or 2 years. Okay, so that is a thing. Java people are updating us with new features. Okay, so that it doesn't leave behind. Okay, so that is a thing which excites me a lot. So next thing is learning Java enough to get lots of opportunity? It's like a lot of people is having this question in their mind, like, if I'm learning only Java, if I'm not learning any other thing, will it be helpful for us? So if you ask me, if you will learn only Java, it will be helpful. Yes, as a fresher, if you learn Java, you will be having the basic fundamental knowledge. Okay, so I will be showing you what all things you have to learn in Java. Don't worry about that. So only learning Java, no, you will be gaining the fundamentals. You will be having the basic knowledge on Java, how code works, how we have to follow JVM architecture, what all things you need to implement, basic things you will get to know. But you can also get good job, but you need to stand apart from the crowd, right? All other people are also learning that language. Then how are you different from them? You have to master one thing, and then you have to do some other things as well parallelly. What all things you can do parallelly? You can create project. Okay, so if you're not understanding what project in YouTube, if you will go, you will also get a lot of projects from there. Okay, then you can go to Udemy. From Udemy also you can get a lot of projects. Okay, and I have also created my own Java course. Okay, so I will put it in the description box. Like I've created curated course, like step by step what all things we have to learn from beginning till advanced, everything. Okay, whatever I have faced problems, whatever things is actually required in the industry, those things I have put up in my course. So if you are interested, you can go through that. Okay, you will get to learn a lot of things within just 2 to 3 months. You can excel. Okay, you can become good in Java. And most important things, it's a consistency and practice. Okay, not just learning multiple things, but consistently practicing that thing. That is also very much important. Okay, so this is the thing. So you have to do, if you are learning Java, it's great, but along with learning Java, you should create projects also for yourself. Okay, it will not only help to you, it will help when you will be doing project in your team. Okay, so there also that skill will be very much helpful if you have created 2 to 3 projects. So when I was going to EY from CGI company, so there I was getting there I got actually 2 months time. So in that 2 months time, I didn't waste that time. I went into Udemy. Okay, I got into some flight reservation, IRCTC reservation project I have created, and 2 3 projects I have created more. So that actually helped me when I got into the actual project work. Okay, for the client. So that is the thing. So if you will keep on learning, it will be helpful to you only. Okay. So because if you are in deployed in project, then you will not get that much time. You will learn and then you will implement. Okay, so you should be learning the things beforehand, so that when time comes, you can just go and implement it. So these are the things. So next is how much to learn in Java. It's a vast ocean. Can you learn everything? So that is the thing. Everything should not be learned. There are few strategies, okay, that we need to follow. There are few things that we have to mandatorily learn, and we have to follow 80-20 principle. Okay, 20%, from 20% of the thing, 80% questions are asked. So what is that 20% thing? This is Pareto's principle, right? So what is that 20% thing in the vast world of Java, from where 80% of the questions are asked? So that I will be going deep dive into it now. So I hope you are learning this process. You are learning from this story. Okay. So stay tuned. You will be learning a lot of things now. Okay. So this has started. So first of all, the thing which you have to learn is basics of Java. If you don't know anything about Java, no problem. Okay. Start with the basics. Basics means variables, data types, understand JRE, JVM architecture, okay, JDK, okay, just-in-time compiler, how all these things are interrelated. Then learn about OOPS concept. Okay, Java means OOPS, right? It works upon object. So just try to understand why Java came up with objects. C was not having object. Then why Java came up with object? What was the problem with not being so object oriented in C, that it got replaced with Java? Okay, what all problems in C was people were facing? Okay, so those things, if you just do research and understand, no, it will be very much helpful for you. Okay, then second is problem solving. Okay, because if you get into the interview, no, they will ask you 1 or 2 questions to code, to write. Okay, So there, if you don't have this problem solving skills, no, then believe me, you will face a lot of problems over there. Okay, you will not be able to understand the intuitive approach to solve the problem will not come in your mind directly, because it all totally depends upon how much you are practicing. Okay, so work hard in silence and let your success makes the most noise. That is a thing, right? So you have to work hard in silence, work harder in silence. Okay, so for that you can follow certain website in the initial phase, like you don't try directly jump onto lead code in the initial phase. Okay, so first of all, there is a website called codingbat.com. Okay, codingbat, codingbat.com. So if you go to this website, it will be like level 1, level 2, basic simple questions will be there of arrays and strings and loops, conditional based questions. So try to practice those questions. Okay, so when you get confidence working on those problems, then jump onto hacker rank first. Okay, so in hacker rank there will be like good little bit story based questions will be there. So you will be gaining the understanding. Okay, you will be gaining the understanding of how to approach the problem, and after doing that few questions, if you attempt in HackerRank, then you can start working on lead code, because lead code easy also becomes sometimes very difficult for us to understand. Correct? So if you follow this step, then believe me, you will get a lot of energy and confidence, and you will be motivated from inside, like I can also code. So that confidence is very important. That should come from within. Okay, and these after this collections and multi-threading is very commonly asked. Okay, you have to be thorough with it. How collections and threading actually works from inside. Okay, how jobs are working, how multi-threading working internally. Executor framework also ask. Okay, to not too much to freshers, but yeah, you should be knowing about the concepts. Okay, in collections, how are you working upon streams? What's the difference between collection and streams? Okay, why map is not being kept as a part of collection interface? So these are the things that we should be aware of. Internal implementation for set, for map, for list, what data structures are being used inside of list, set, map. So these things you should be well versed of. Then comes the projects. Okay, what all projects you are doing using the framework. Okay, so first of all, start doing project on Java, core Java. If you have done 2 3 projects and if you feel that you are comfortable, then focus upon learning the frameworks. Okay, there are various frameworks which are built upon Java. So those are Spring Boot, microservices. Okay, so try using that framework, try learning that framework, and then try to do projects on that, because in real time scenarios they will be working upon, we all will be working upon Spring Boot, microservices, T6. Okay, so these things will be combined entirely and will come under Java. Okay, so this we have to learn step by step. Okay, so if you follow this, you will be learning a lot. So these are coming under the basics of Java. What all basic things that we have to learn? So first thing is JRE, JDK, JVM differences. What is JVM architecture? How internally it works? These are the basic things that one must learn. Okay, so I think it will not take more than 1 month if you are dedicated enough to understand these things. Okay, so it will not take more than 1.5 months if you are fresher and if you don't know anything about Java. Okay, so try to learn about this internally, because this is asked to freshers a lot. How JVM internal architecture works. What's the difference between JRE, JVM, JDK? Okay, it's asked to experience as well. So this is very important question. What is just-in-time compiler? JIT. That is also very important. Variables and data types, identifiers, keywords, how to write the conditions, then loops, how many types of loops, when to use which loop. Okay. Then arrays and strings. This is very important. You should practice a lot of questions on arrays and strings. Okay, it will give you more confidence. And there are a lot of algorithms also in arrays that also you should practice, like two-pointer approach is there, Cadence algorithm is there. Okay, so you should know how to use that to solve the array problems. Then string concept problems are there. Oops concept. There are 5 oops concept, right? Abstraction, polymorphism, encapsulation. Okay, then then encapsulation is there, then classes and objects are there, abstraction. So those 4 5 oops concepts are there that we should be aware of. Okay, then different loops, how to use, when to use, generics. Okay, if you are not, generics is like we have to provide a type to that particular class you are using so that it doesn't allow any other type of data. That is generics. It is also very important. Collection and threads, I already told you, it's very important. Exceptions. Okay, this is asked in almost all interviews. You should be knowing about this. how exception works internally. So it's like a flow. Okay, you have to understand the flow. If there is no exception being handled, then JVM automatically throws a default exception handler. Okay, so you should know how it works. How can you create your own custom exception in your project? How can you create exception in the REST APIs? Okay, so everywhere exception handling is coming. So you should be knowing in depth. Try catch finally. Try with resources. Different variations of try catch finally. Like if I remove finally, then try catch will work or not. If I remove catch block, then try with finally will work or not. What's the importance of finally block? Okay, so in what scenarios finally block will not get executed? So these are certain questions which are most commonly asked. So you should be aware of that. Okay. Then new features came with Java 8, Java 17. People are asking if you have worked with Java 17. If you have not worked with Java 17, it's fine. But if you have worked, then they can ask you like, what all features have you implemented? Okay. So there will be like Lambda function, functional interface will be there. Okay. Then optional classes there, completable feature is there, date and time API is there. Okay. So these all things are mostly used default and static methods. Okay. So they can ask you like, which all things have you implemented in your project? So you can explain them. These were the basics. Okay. Then solve more and more questions. Try to uh, try to mimic all the OOPS concept, like how to create an abstraction, how to create encapsulation. Just mimic the encapsulation concept with the help of code. Then you will get to learn about the importance of Java. Okay, polymorphism, encapsulation, inheritance. Okay, is a classes and object, how it is getting created, how the relationship works. Okay, aggregation and composition concept. What is the relation? Like has a relationship, is a relationship, part of relationship. These are very important. Okay, aggregation has a composition, part of, and is a inheritance. And there is one more thing that you have to search, that is uses a relationship. What is that? You should search it out. Okay, you can search it out. Then comes the framework. This is the last stage. After you have learned everything about Java, which I have told you, okay. So in that, you need to create certain projects as well on basic Java, core Java, some banking, normal banking level application you can create, like creating of saving account. Okay, just try to add money into that account, try to do debit of that account with the help of encapsulation. So you can create that type of project as well. So after learning all the Java core concepts and you are confident in Java, like, yes, I have gone through the basics, I have know like what all things are important and I've implemented as well. Then after that, your next step will be to learn framework content. Program language. Okay, every language is having their own framework. Python is having Flask framework. This Java is having Spring Boot framework. Okay, so each language is having their own framework, and actual work happens on the framework. Okay, actual work doesn't happen on Java in the real-time application, in your projects, in your companies, in your organization. Okay, so there actually the work will be based upon your framework. So somewhere Spring is used, somewhere Spring MVC used, somewhere Spring Boot is used. So it depends upon project to project, but it actually works upon a framework. So you should learn one of the frameworks. So Spring Boot is very good actually because it has auto configuration feature. Okay, it is having their own embedded Tomcat, so it becomes very lightweight, and we don't have to configure explicitly for Tomcat server. So this gives an added advantage. You don't have to configure manually. So it has auto configuration feature is there. It will automatically configure your dependencies in the class path depending upon the dependencies present in your XML file. So this automatic configuration makes it so simple and easy to implement. You just have to focus upon writing your business logic. That's it. Then what all build automation tools? That is also very important to understand. Build tools are there, like Maven is there. So we have to understand how these build tools are working. So you have to understand the life cycle of that Maven life cycle. How does it work internally? So those things you have to understand. Then Hibernate is an ORM framework. Okay, so how with the help of Hibernate you can create a class which maps the DB column data. Okay, so how mapping is happening, that is also very, very important. All the persistence mapping mechanism, like one to one, one to many, many to one, many to many, how this is implemented in the code. So this will be asked to you. Okay, to implement it, one-to-one mapping, what all things I have to do to implement that. So this is again very important to understand. Then dependency injection. Okay, it's a feature in Spring Boot. Okay, with the help of auto wiring, you can do dependency injection. Then CRUD operation. This is the thing which you have to create project upon. So basic CRUD operation you should do with REST API, like create, read, update, delete. That is the antonym for CRUD operation. Okay, so it's like short form basically. Then after doing all the things, when you have implemented your CRUD operation, everything is done. Then at last comes a GA unit where actual test driven development is there. Like you have to write your test cases, and then you have to see that all your logics are satisfying or not, all your edge cases are satisfied or not. For that, you have to write a test case. So this is the last step that you have to do. So these are the things which are coming under the framework of Java. Okay, so first what you did, you understood the concept like the history of Java. Okay, then you understood the importance of Java. Then you learned starting from the basics of Java. Okay, after learning the basics, you came to framework. Then understand the framework, did some projects, then you get more confidence, and then you will become interview ready. So if you learn only Java as a fresher, it will be fine. But if you learn Spring Boot as well, Hibernate Spring Boot, okay, it will be an added advantage. Okay, very few people as a fresher works upon the framework of a programming language. So that will make you stand apart. So try to create projects using Spring Boot. It will be helpful for you only. Okay. So this was the thing. Next comes GitHub, GitLab. Okay, so with the help of GitHub, how you are using it to push your code changes. Okay, so it's like a repository form of thing where actually your code will be present, where you have to take the code. So in your project, in your company, actually what you will do, you will clone the project, okay, from your GitHub repository. Then you have to, after cloning, you can create your own branch from that main branch or develop branch, which is there in that actual repository. Then there you will start your work. After doing the work, you can do commit, then you can push. So you should learn all the commands of GitHub, how GitHub works. Okay, so this is very important. Then comes, this is the cloud part. So if you are going through this, so try to do some cloud practitioner certification training. So there you will learn a lot of things about cloud, like Amazon AWS. How will you create ECS instances? Okay, this Lambda, where functional programming you can do, it's for developers. In RDS, relational database service. Okay, then DynamoDB. So these things are very much important for cloud perspective. Okay, so as of now, I have seen companies are expecting a lot from a developer. Okay, they should know this DevOps thing also. They should know about testing also. They should know about the coding also. They should have good communication skill also, so that they can face the client. A lot of things companies are expecting from us. So we should be fully aware of it. We should be mentally prepared that these things we should know. We should not tell like, I am a developer, I will not work on DevOps or cloud. No, people are expecting, okay, people are expecting a lot nowadays. So they are expecting to work, so that you will work as a sole contributor. So okay, so these things people are expecting. So you should increase your skill to that level to match their expectation. Then comes which IDE you are using. Okay, so there are a lot of IDE, like Eclipse is there, okay, STS is there, then IntelliJ is there, then BlueJ is there. A lot of IDEs are there, but my favorite personal best is IntelliJ. Okay, so because it is having their own built-in plugins internally, it will suggest you as well, like this code, if you write this way, it will become more redundant, it will become more better. Okay, performance will be good if you write it this way. So it will suggest you as well from time to time. And there are a lot of built-in plugin tools available, so that you don't have to download it explicitly. They will suggest you, like, you can download this, it will become faster. What all basic configuration required in your project, what all things you need to implement, everything they will tell you. So it's very cool. Okay, if you will use it, you will get to know like how beautiful this IDE is. Okay, so it's my personal favorite actually, IntelliJ. And if you I don't know you are knowing or not, if you are doing debugging, okay, so while debugging purpose, it will, as soon as you will see that it hits your debug point, okay, where you have put your debugger, so as soon as it hits that point, you will get to see the value as and when, there only. Okay, you don't have to evaluate it separately to see the values. There only you will get to know like what all values this variables contains. Okay, so you don't have to manually remember and write somewhere. It is not required. It will show you then and there. So this is beautiful advantage of IntelliJ. A lot of advanced features are there when you use the ultimate edition. Okay, in organization, people are having ultimate edition of IntelliJ. So there you will get to see a lot of cool features. Okay, so then deployment tools you should learn, like Jenkins, AWS, Okay, how deployment happens, how build and deployment process works. So those things you should go about. Okay, it's like 1 or 2 hours thing. Okay, you should go through a video. Everything will be covered in that. Then you should learn about Docker, Kubernetes, basics only, not in depth. Because as a fresher, you should not be asked that much. But you are experienced, and if you have worked on it, then you should have the knowledge on it. Okay, so there will not be an issue with that. Then design principles and design patterns. There are a lot of design patterns, right? Singleton design pattern, factory design pattern, behavioral design pattern, structural design pattern. So what all type of design patterns are there? Okay, so you should learn those things. Then solid design principles: a single responsibility, open close, risk of substitution, interface segregation, dependency inversion. The solid design principles are very much important. People are asking a lot from this. They will ask you to explain it with an example of any of 2 or 3 of the solid design principles. Okay, it should be thorough with it. Okay, try to see any video. Okay, I will also create one video. If you comment it down, I will also create a video on this solid design principles. I've created a video on singleton design pattern. You should go through it. Okay, so these are very important: creational design pattern, structural design pattern, behavioral design pattern. So at least you should know creational design pattern basics, like how singleton design pattern works, how to break it, and how to recover from that breaking of singleton design pattern. Factory design pattern, abstract factory. Then builder design pattern. There was a problem with factory design pattern, which builder design pattern actually resolves. So how does it resolve? Okay, that you should study. Then study some behavioral design patterns as well. Okay, so there will be a lot of behavioral design pattern. Facade design pattern is there, memento design pattern is there, template design pattern is there, gang of 4 design patterns. So these are very important. Okay, so learn it step by step. You will go, you will get to learn those things. Then comes this Docker and Kubernetes. Okay, so Docker commands are there. With the help of that, actually you will create an image of that file, and then after creating that image, you will just inject it to the file, and then you can create multiple instances of it, and you can store it. So basically, the problem occurs at some place, right? You have written the code in your local, but if you are just importing it to some other place and exporting, okay, so at that point of time, you will see that in their system, your code is not working. So if you are using Docker, that problem will be resolved. Okay, so it will hold all the jar dependencies, all the configurations intact with them. So when you will just put and try to import it at some other system, you will import all those plugins and configuration and all other details as well, so that it will run in another system as well. So Docker is very much important in that scenario. And Kubernetes contains cluster, data pods, instances of microservices. So these are also very important. You should learn the basics of it at least as a fresher. Then Kafka. So these things mostly they will not ask as a fresher, but you should learn about this. Like what are the different ways of communicating between the two services? So there is microservice A, there is microservice B. How these two will communicate with each other? So these two will be communicated in 2 ways: synchronous, asynchronous. For synchronous, you can make use of REST template. For asynchronous, you can make use of RabbitMQ, Kafka. Okay, so these are event streaming platforms. So try to do research on this. It is very much helpful. It's actually very interesting topic to understand. Okay, so once you will go through it, you will get to know. Then finally, this is the concepts. These all things you have to learn. So if you go through it, then you will see there is Java fundamentals, basic syntax you should learn, data types you should learn, variables, conditional operators, loops, function, data structure, exception handling, oops, classes interface, packages, file handling, APIs. These are coming under fundamental part. Okay, these are advanced concept. This is asked actually. Streams, lambda, so Java 8 features. These are Java 8 features. Okay, collection framework, generic, serialization, threads. Garbage collection is also very important. It's most commonly asked in the interviews actually. Garbage collections. Okay, so you should learn this garbage collection thoroughly. Because there's various space, right? How heap memory works. So these are questions asked. Young gen, old gen. What actual change came in Java 8 with respect to garbage collection and memory organization? So those questions are also asked. Memory management also is very important. Okay, then networking, socket. So these two are not that much important, but if you are interested, you can go through it. Okay, JVM, how does it work? JVM architecture is also very important. Then ORM tool, okay, object relational framework. So what all frameworks are there for that? So JPA is a specification, okay, which uses Hibernate. So Spring Data JPA, which I am using in my project, Spring Data JPA is very important. And Hibernate is a ORM tool. Okay, Keybin is there. JDBC. JDBC we are not using that much. Okay, because it requires a lot of SQL queries to know beforehand. So we are not using this. Okay, so if you skip it as of now, still it's fine. But basic thing you should know that 5 JDBC steps. So if you go through that, it will be better. It will be good. Okay. Then build automation tools like Gradle, Marvin, and Ant is not required that much. But if you learn about Gradle and Marvin, no, this is also enough. To start with Marvin. Marvin is mostly used in almost all the companies. Then logging frameworks are there. So how will you log your errors, your exceptions in your code? So you have to use one of those logging frameworks. So you can make use of Log4j, SLF4j. Okay. So these things are used in the projects. Okay. Then comes testing tools. What all tools you should use to test your code? Okay, so you should create a class, create a separate package, and write your test cases. That is fine. So we in the most companies we are making use of like Cucumber, okay, as a testing tool. Mockito is being used as a testing tool. Okay, JMeter is used. TestNG is used. Okay, JUnit is used. So I have made use of JUnit, Mockito. These two only I have used as of now. So you can learn others as well. Cucumber, it is being asked in the interview. Okay, so you should know the basics of Cucumber. How does it works as a tool, testing tool? Then comes the web framework. This is the framework which is coming after learning all the basics of core Java concepts. Then comes the actual framework, like how a framework works with the help of Java. How can we implement CRUD operation or the business functionalities with the help of this project? Okay, with the help of this web framework. So Spring, important. Spring Boot. Before learning Spring Boot, try learning Spring first. Then only you will learn the importance of Spring Boot, Spring MVC. Okay. Struts is very old. It's not used that much. In my startup, which was my first company, their struts was used. That too was older version. So I will recommend not to learn struts as of now. Start learning Spring Boot after learning Java. Okay. So these are the entire concept that one must go through so that you will get a wholehearted understanding of what Java is. Java is not beyond this. If you learn these things, you are good to go. Okay. These are the main things. You know, right? 80-20 principle. This is a 20% from where 80% questions are asked, and which is meaningful to you as well, because we are having very limited time. So we should work according to our own time, which is assigned to us. So don't stretch it more by learning unnecessary things. Try to learn the important things which is coming under 20%. Okay, try learning that. Don't extend and don't push that much which is not required. Okay. So next thing is you have to create ATS compliant resume. So if you have learned everything, you have learned about Java, you have learned about frameworks, you have created projects, everything you did, but recruiters are not recognizing you. Companies are not calling you for interviews. Then what's the point of knowing these things? It's of no use, right? So you should make proper ATS compliant resume. Okay. So you have to go through certain websites, okay, to see like what's the score of your resume. So this is an entirely different topic. So I've created a separate video for that. I will attach it in the description box below. You will go through that and then we'll get to know like how can you make your resume ATS compliant. Okay, so this is also very much important because there's an algorithm which works for different companies. So there actually your resume will go. There will be like lakhs of resume which goes through that ATS algorithm, and then it will shortlist only those resumes which are having certain keywords which that company wants. Like if you will go through their job roles, descriptions, responsibilities. So if those keywords are there in your resume, you are getting shortlisted. Otherwise, it will be straightforward rejected. Okay. Then salary structure. So salary is a secondary thing as of now. As a fresher, you should not think much about salary. I have joined with 5,000 rupees. So you will get much better salary than this. So initial stage, don't focus on salary. After learning and increased your skills, then after that, yes, you can negotiate. So you got salary from one company, take that, okay, and try to look out for better opportunities because everywhere work will be same only. Okay, so you have to either work on development or you have to do on troubleshooting. So try to go for better salary where the company culture is also good, work culture is work-life balance is also there. It's MNC, focus on MNC. In the initial days, you can work on startup for 1 to 2 years. That's fine. But after that, you should a little bit work upon your stability and you should focus upon product-based companies. Okay. For that, data structures needs to be learned. So those are also very important. Okay. So these are the things. Salary will grow, okay, spontaneously. If you know negotiation skill, if you know communication skill, then salary will increase like anything. I've started with 5,000. So now I have got around 25 plus in just 5 to 6 years. Okay. So salary increasing is not that much difficult. It's all about learning and working upon your skills. Don't just focus upon getting that 5 to 10% hike every year. Okay. Don't fall for that. Learn on your skills. It will give you a good returns in future. That I wanted to tell you at last. So I hope you understood the entire concept, entire story. So this was the end of it. I hope you have learned a lot. It was pretty long video, but yes, it will be helpful for you. If you will learn a lot from this, and if you start implementing this, then believe me, your life will go on to a totally different track, and you will be getting your dream job very soon. All the very best. And if you are facing any doubt, you can directly reach out to me on LinkedIn. Okay, I will be happy to help you there. Okay, and if you are facing very much problem, you are having a lot of difficulty to understand, then you can book a one-to-one session with me as well. Okay, I will send you the description below. Then you can have a discussion with me, try to understand your problems. I will try to understand your problems and will give you a roadmap for that as well. So that was it for today. So it's Devjit Roy signing off. We'll see you in a new video with new set of concepts. Bye bye.